For those of you who don't know, I do this channel called Shonen Ronin, which is meant to be a political anime analysis channel, kind of pulling from both sides and trying to see what conclusion you can come to when you combine the two together. Now, I do it with a few other people. I'm not primarily the one who posts to the channel, but another member of said channel posted my Analyze Everything video onto the channel, and immediately, in the first 5 hours, it got more views than the original video did. And consequently, there was a comment that was left on there by a guy who seemed to be a big fan of the video enough to patron to the Shonen Ronin YouTube Patreon. And I was kind of taken aback by looking at this, because I had at once spoken to a commenter on my channel. He's not really a fan of mine by any means, but he told me that I should be focusing on my scripted videos, because the way he phrased it is that, Star, you're definitely intelligent, but I feel like you're putting all of your energy into the wrong place with these vlogs. He told me that my vlogs were narcissistic and dumb, and that he didn't really care for them, which is, a fair take to have. But he said that my video 3 AM was so good, and that the simple visual editing that I did on the video was able to express emotions and ideas in and of itself, and he seemed to like the video. And I feel so strange when I think about this, because I've had a few people tell me this. Not many, but the few that have told me this have been very vocal about it, very loud. The ones who tell me that my scripted videos are vastly better than the rest of the content that I put out on this channel, and that I should be focusing on it. And I don't really know how to respond to these people, because my videos, when they're written, are not made the way that they are because I'm working on other things. They don't come out maybe once a month or once every 2 weeks because I just decided to focus on vlogs. They come out because that's when I have the ideas. If I had ideas for things to write about, then surely there would be a video once every week, once every 3 days, with a written script and edited visuals. I would be doing it if I was able to. The problem with my writing that has always come up, and that has always been true ever since I started in 2016 to write, late 2016, I kind of started doing it consistently in 2017, was that every single thing that I wrote, I did not feel satisfied with unless there was a burst of emotion behind it. I would start writing the first paragraph, and by the time I made it to the second paragraph, I would quit, because I didn't feel that there was enough emotion within my work. It's hard enough for me to stomach my own writing when there is emotion behind it, when I care so much as I write those words that I simply can't put the keyboard down. My fingers can't be lifted away from the place. I have to keep going. It's hard enough for me to retain my attention in that mind state, but I continue chugging along because the words are being written faster than I can think them. And when I'm in that mind state, when I'm in that zone, all of the words just come out. I'm not really thinking about what it is that I'm saying anymore. My heart is doing the talking. And when my heart is doing the talking, my head can't step in and tell my heart to shut up because it's not doing well enough. That's the predominant dynamic that happens with most of my videos on YouTube. The reason why I make these vlogs isn't just because I have more ideas for them, it's because when I'm speaking in a non-stop ocean of words coming at you, it's harder for me to take that moment to just stop and think what it is that I'm saying. When I'm excited, putting all these words out there, I don't have that voice in my head telling me to quit the way that I do when I write. It's disheartening to feel that. It's disheartening to always feel that. that your writing is always going to be compared to the writing of others, and that you feel that you're never going to meet the standard that's in your head. Once you get to that second paragraph, you're ready to put the typewriter down forever. It never feels good. But sometimes I get that magic moment where I'm writing something and all the stars align, the planets come together miraculously to allow my heart to function properly, and to allow my heart to belt out all of these words, all of these paragraphs, without stop. At that moment, I don't hesitate. My head doesn't walk in to tell me to quit. I just write. And those are the moments that I make the videos that I'm the most proud of. These 4 walls, remembering SpongeBob, my ideals cannot be killed. These aren't just some of my favorite videos, they're some of the favorite videos, favorite things that I've ever recorded. And sometimes I wonder if those things can even be topped when I look at the editing, when I look at the heart that went into them. I don't like the majority of my work, but those are the few stars that shine in a sea of black, an abyss of mediocrity, that when I see them, I feel a bit proud, a bit happy that I exist, that I fulfilled my purpose when I wake up every single day and everything that I put out could be better. It can always be better. But in that moment, I at least feel content with what it is that I did, even if what I did consisted of only a few videos. Those are the few videos that I didn't make 2 years ago, 3 years ago, but could have only dreamed of having done in 5 years. I did it early. That's the thing that sometimes when I'm lying awake at night needing to know why it is that I exist, that I remind myself with, that I wrote those videos, that I may be just a product at my core, speaking to this imaginary box in my hand, but in spite of the fact that I am a product, and in spite of the fact that I'm a bit of a mediocre one when you look at the breadth of my work overall, there's a bit of pride that I can feel when I look at those few shining stars in that abyss, in that black hole of content that seems to engulf my existence, if there ever was one there in the first place. And I can't replace that. It can't ever be replaced. And just like it can't be replaced, I also can't replicate that. A video is made and then it is done. I can't simply tell my heart to belt out an entire script in full force, with every heartbeat going in the exact motion that it should, at the exact speed that it should, without it not being genuine anymore. Without me having to stop to tell myself, why am I doing this? And why couldn't I make it as good as the other ones? Or why couldn't I make it as the guy next door? It never feels good to do that. And just as it never feels good to do that, there's also a lot of time on YouTube where people are unwilling to subscribe without seeing a video every day. Watch time is what they call it. I believe it's called CPM or click-through rates or something like that. That you need those in order to get more eyeballs on your videos. You see, when I started out making these vlogs on this channel, the reason I did it was because I knew I was going to make them anyway. My second channel had barely any viewers. Each vlog got 10, maybe 20 views at best. If it got posted on Reddit, 50. But they never went anywhere. I knew I had this YouTube channel that had a few hundred subscribers and got 60 views each time I had the strength, had the heart to write a video. And I believed that the few written videos that I felt were worthy enough of posting, that I didn't feel enough shame over to actually put out onto the platform, that they deserved to get more views. And I knew that the climate of YouTube did not allow for them to get views unless there were more videos being produced. And I also knew that my heart simply did not allow for those scripted videos to continue being produced in such a short span of time. That the stars would only align every 2 weeks, every month, every 3 months. Therefore, I had to take measures that were a bit more drastic. I had to implement a new policy on my channel, a new style, a new release schedule. I had to release vlogs in order to keep the channel afloat. And what do you know? In the period in which I decided to turn the main channel into not just an analysis channel, but a vlogs channel, it continued to grow and grow. I got the most subscribers on my channel ever, in the shortest span of time ever, because of those videos. Something that we've all had to learn on YouTube, a cruel reality that we've had to face, is that people don't really care about quality. They don't really care about the heart as much as they care about filling their time with as many words as they possibly can. They want to hear someone's voice because they're in their room alone. And if they hear someone talk in their room alone that's just like them, maybe in those few moments they'll feel a little bit less bored. They'll think about the fact that they're going to die one day a little bit less. That's what YouTube is for them. They would rather sit down and watch 10 videos of people talking about why James Charles is going to molest some straight man in their sleep or something than spend about 10 minutes watching something well done and with heart in it, with care put into it, that the artist who had made it had an intention, a dream behind it even, culminating over years of work, that in that one moment, in those 30 minutes that they belted out that script, all of the stars aligned and all of the inspiration came full force to produce what it is that they cared about, after all those years of practice. People don't care about that. Well, maybe they do, but they don't know that they do. What they do know is that the YouTube algorithm is going to continue force-feeding them more 30-minute long videos of people talking about James Charles' genitalia, and that they certainly have time for those 30-minute videos lining up as they continue to spend time rotting away in their room, as they wonder how they'll feel when they wake up in the morning, only for their social anxiety to keep them from being able to get up for work that day. That's what YouTube is. That's what the world is in 2019. And I had to realize that in order for me to continue on this channel. In order for this channel to get more views, that was simply a reality that I had to grapple with. The thing about marketing yourself in a capitalist system is that it's always about adaptation. For every video that you make with heart and soul, that you had intent and meaning behind, there are going to be 10 more that were simply manufactured in order to call attention to that one video. As I said, the YouTube algorithm necessitates watch time. It requires it. It eats at it. And as the many hungry mouths come to you, to your YouTube channel to be fed, you're gonna have to meet them with a lot of food, because their stomachs are quite small, their metabolism is quite high. And sometimes a 5-minute video every 2 weeks just doesn't cut into that metabolism enough. What I mean to say here is that I couldn't just make the scripted videos. I couldn't just make the things that that guy patroned for. because that wasn't inside of me. If I did that, then they would no longer be the scripted videos that people cared about. They would just be another run-of-the-mill anime analysis video that Pedantic Romantic or Zarya or any number of these fucking hacks could have made and said is good. But each time we watch those videos, even though we do watch them every time, we never really think they are good. They're just another video in our subscription feed to keep us from thinking about the world that we live in. Do I want to be someone like that? I don't. And I would much rather commodify my voice, my vlogs, something that on some level is a bit mediocre, but at least I have a bit of passion for and enjoy doing, than to commodify my writing, something that has remained very important to me, and when I do it good, is exceedingly important to me for my well-being and for my existence as a whole. These videos are not just a path to lead to more views on those other videos. They're also something deeply important to me. Something that I have to get off my chest. That I've always had to get off my chest. It's just that they're not important in the same way my writing is. And I don't want to turn my writing into these videos, into something that's consistent. Because I know that if I did that, my writing would never be the same. The authenticity of it would not be there. At least with an unscripted vlog, the authenticity comes in the fact that it is unscripted. With my writing, there's a calculated element to it that I simply cannot get over. That when I read through those first two paragraphs, desperately trying to change each word around to make it proper, and comparing those first two paragraphs to the first two paragraphs of everyone I look up to, I can't help but feel something aching in my chest, as if I'm about to vomit up the bit of food that I was allowed to have on the short budget that I live with. That is, if I actually got up from my chair to eat, because I tend to pin myself to that chair to get as much work done on YouTube as I possibly can. I don't think anyone else would think this way about receiving a patron. Because at first it did make me happy. It meant something. But the more I thought about it, and the more I thought about these other statements from people, that I need to be making these analysis videos that meant something to them on a consistent basis, the more that I thought about just how much it is that I'm controlled by this strange thing pumping blood through my entire body. Just how much that art would not have come into existence without it. And I have to ask myself, is it worth sacrificing that heart, that authenticity, in order to make more of a consistent product that people claim to want? Because every time someone claims that they want something, they never really know the full implications of what it is that they're going to get once it's given to them. And in my case, all of those videos that I put love and care into in the 30 minutes that I belted it out in a stream of consciousness manner and refused to edit upon having voiced it, all of those videos would simply not be the same if I had chose to make 2 analysis videos a week on random subjects that I had picked out of a jar. They came because I was sad and I needed to tell a story. And that story could not have been told into a camera like this. It could have only have been told in the bit of structure that writing a script allows, in spite of the fact that I do write them stream of consciousness. When I wrote these 4 walls, I was incredibly sad. I actually kind of wanted to kill myself when I wrote that script. And I felt better after I had wrote it. Because the emotions were out. I didn't have to be sad anymore. Because having wrote that reminded me that there were good things in the world. That I could turn the incredible pain that I was feeling into something that I thought was incredibly good. I liked it. It felt good to read and to listen to. I thought I was expressing something only I could. And in that moment, it gave me a reason to continue. But moments like that, moments in which the emotions are charged from a profound sense of needing to remain on Earth, are not moments we can have every day. Most of the time, when I'm depressed, I don't get that inspired to turn that depression into something good. I just kind of exist. And without that, without the core of authenticity, of real emotions, inspiring that work wouldn't exist. And what I'm saying is that you can't get those emotions every day. And I don't want my overall body of work to represent me trying to catch lightning in a bottle when there simply is no lightning there. Hopefully that makes sense. I've been pacing around this room. This was probably going to sound kind of pretentious to some people. And people don't tend to like it when I use lots of weird extended metaphors. But I needed to get it off my chest.